welcome, welcome to the Creative Bravos Awards. Is that where everybody wanted to be right now? All right, good. I just wanted to check. What a beautiful way to open up, very emblematic of creativity in Albuquerque. Sometimes it happens behind you and in the lobby and not on the stage. And, sometimes it's not everything you expect. Sometimes flamenco dancers are dancing in socks and not making tons of noise. So you never know. And this is what's so beautiful about Albuquerque and our creative scene. So thanks for coming out to celebrate with us today. We should get started, right? I counted, and I think all of the award winners have managed to slide right in on time. So let's go ahead and start. Hold on, I need my notes. All right. Today, we are here to celebrate the Creative Bravos Awards. Thank you for joining the City of Albuquerque and the Department of Arts and Culture as we celebrate the extraordinary artists, organizations, places, and cultural leaders who shape the creative spirit of our city. And we're going to applaud them throughout the rest of the afternoon, but I'm just going to take a moment and I want you to applaud yourselves. So go ahead. Wow, I hope you have more enthusiasm later. Let me tell you why you're applauding yourselves. Because you're supporters, because you showed up for creativity, and creativity often without an audience at some point is just, it's not as meaningful. Ultimately, our creative acts are here to express ourselves, but also to share with other people, and they take flight when we share that. So today, you are the audience, and I'm guessing some of you have been the audience a lot of time for the people that you're supporting today. So how about let's applaud each other. All right. You're going to have to get louder later, but for now, that's fine. Today, we honor a group of creatives and visionaries whose work spans theater, literature, dance, music, education, and cultural preservation, reminding us that the arts are not just something we experience, but something that connects us, challenges us, and helps us to understand one another. So to get this officially launched, I am very happy to introduce someone who has been a major supporter and a collaborator on the Creative Bravos for the past 8 years, our First Lady, Liz Kisten-Keller.
Thank you so much. I just want to echo Shell by thanking all of you, not just for showing up today to celebrate our awardees, but for all of the ways that you show up for them and for arts and culture and our entire community over and over again. It is so much of what makes this an incredible place to be. I also want to start by thanking Dr. Shell Sanchez, the entire Department of Arts and Culture, and our One ABQ Media team who's here today and has been such an incredible part of telling the stories of the incredible cultural groups and the incredible cultural ecosystem in Albuquerque. We know these are heavy times in our world and in our country, and I think when we gather today, especially to celebrate the groups we have gathered here, we recognize the joy, the wisdom, the beauty, and the sense of community that they bring to all of us in Albuquerque, which has always been incredible, but I think especially now feels like a tremendous asset to our community and something so special for what we need now and going forward as well. So today it's a great honor as we get these nominations. I will say there's not usually sort of a specific criteria, but as we got the incredible nominations this year, what showed up in the selection was that today we are celebrating legacies. All of the organizations, all of the individuals we are celebrating today have been contributing to our community for decades, right? And have set in place impacts that will last for decades to come. So these awards recognize the full breadth of our arts ecosystem, from individual educators to production companies, nonprofits, and community spaces. Together, they reflect the depth, talent, and imagination that make Albuquerque such a vibrant place to live, to work, to create, and to grow together. Over the decades, Creative Bravos has grown alongside our city art scene, evolving to recognize not only artistic excellence, but also cultural leadership, entrepreneurship, and community impact. This year's recipients reflect the incredible diversity of Albuquerque's cultural landscape. Their work demonstrates the power of arts to bring people together, to tell meaningful stories, and to strengthen our community. As we celebrate today's honorees, we also celebrate the future of Albuquerque's creative spirit, built on innovation, collaboration, and a deep commitment to culture. So it's my pleasure now to be able to welcome up an incredible creator himself, our current Albuquerque Poet Laureate, and also an incredible educator, Damian Flores. Please welcome him to the stage.
Santas y buenas tardes. To mark the occasion, congratulations to all of the recipients today. It's my honor to recite this poem that I wrote for you all. Creativity should be a generous thing, a gift to be gifted only to be gifted again to those who need it most. In return, creativity asks us to share. Our talents are not solely ours alone. How many people have sat in the rows of your theaters, the laughter echoing through the aisles, the applause from standing ovations thundering for the performers? How many eager readers have browsed the shelves of your bookstores and asked the same question? I'm looking for that one book with the red cover. Do you have it? You know which one. How many youth of the 19 pueblos have discovered the dances and songs of the ancestors and see themselves and their culture on the museum walls? Imagine the thousands who've heard the trumpets and saxophones in the music halls, the kids practicing endlessly on woodwinds and brass to get that concert band scholarship. Imagine the thousands of music lovers gathered in the plazas and music halls for the best concerts, no need for a ticket. How many parents have taken their children to their first show because of you? Discovered their new favorite art form because of you? How many have learned to dance in your studios and changed their lives forever because of you? Today, we honor you. Dennis and Fusion Theater, Bookworks, Hijastros, Albuquerque Concert Band, AMP Concerts, the Playhouse, Cardboard Playhouse, and the Box, Rosalinda Rojas. Creativity is like water in the aquifer, the hidden river beneath our city. This spring flows with the muse, and you have drank her sweet water, and you have shared with us all, and leave us embraced in beauty's arms. Saludos y bravos a todos.
So speaking of decades, that incredible poet laureate is 4 decades old today. So can we together, I feel this is a talented group. So can we all together wish him a happy birthday? Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday! Yes. Very nice. All right. So, should we give some awards? All right. Let's start giving out some awards. But before the first award, let me just give you a little quick note about how this works if you haven't been to one of these recently. Each of today's honorees is featured in a professionally produced short video that highlights their work, their impact, and the role they play in shaping Albuquerque's vibrant arts and cultural community, including their own comments on the work for which they've been recognized. We'll watch each video together, and then we'll invite the honoree to join us on stage so that we can recognize them in person. The twist to the Bravos is that we have them do their thanks and their comments as part of the video, and they just come up on the stage to accept their award. But this is their moment to feel your love. So we want enthusiastic, over the top, sincere, exactly, deep admiration. We want to feel it. Now, a lot of these people tend to do things, they're organizers and promoters. Some of them are performers, they're gonna be fine. But the ones that are not usually on the stage, they need the extra love, and they're gonna have a moment of uncomfortableness, but we're gonna make them stand here and feel that love. And I want, you guys are responsible for showing the love, all right? So I'm gonna practice just to see if you guys have it in you, all right? Pretend like I'm getting an award. That was so much better than the opening. You guys do it so much better when it's for someone else. All right, so I'm ready for an award. Our first award, you've already had a taste of it because they opened our show, is for Hijastros. And before we see their video, I just want to say a few things about Hijastros and Joaquin Encinas. Hijastros, the American Flamenco Repertory Company, was founded in 1999 by artistic director Joaquin Encinas and has helped position New Mexico as a global center for flamenco performance and innovation. For so many flamenco aficionados in Albuquerque, it is easy to forget, because we see them every year, several times a year, how important, innovative, and slightly crazy it was for Joaquin to start a repertory flamenco dance company in Albuquerque more than 25 years ago. Although Festival Flamenco was going strong and already had deep success, a flamenco repertory company in New Mexico, not in Spain, not even close to Spain, was a significant act of creative bravery and vision. But now we all see that it was a brilliant vision. With more than 70 original works and tours across the United States and Spain, Hijastros blends artistic excellence with deep cultural respect and exploration and a clear artistic voice. And always just a little bit of Nuevo Mexico is definitely in there. And a powerful company of dancers year after year who are mesmerizing and stunning every time.
Hijastros we started a little over 26 years ago. The dream I had with the company was to begin a repertory flamenco dance company, much like in big cities that you would see an American Ballet Theater or New York City Ballet or a Martha Graham company. Hijastros is that in flamenco. And for me, that was an important instrument to teach and cultivate and nurture young artists through the choreographic process.
Now it's going on.
Flamenco is often done as solos, but in this case, we're duet and trio and big group choreographies so that we can cultivate and nurture the idea of choreography in flamenco, as well as the dancers that do the choreography. I feel it's ultimately now turned into one of the most important flamenco projects in the world, so it's a big deal for me. So I'm sitting here at the University of New Mexico right now, and my mother was a teacher in this department, and I ran around this department when I was 4, 5, 6 years old. I first saw dance by watching my mother dance in other people's classes or teaching herself, and it taught me to really love the discipline of dance and then choreography in general. As I started Hijastros, I feel like it was joining those parts of my life, education like you have here at the University of New Mexico and we have at the Conservatory downtown and the National Institute of Flamenco is about cultivating not just flamenco as just an art form in and of itself, but also the idea of dance in general. I'm proud to say that all of our artists are W-2 employees right now for the National Institute of Flamenco, which is a big deal. We're one of the only organizations in the state that employs artists that way. As we've grown as a company and we have more sort of respect around the country and in the world, there are other organizations that want to begin to collaborate with us. And it's really more about learning about these other art forms. Culturally, jarocho music and flamenco, they're not considered to be the same art form. Tapping into those cultural roots that all of us have in the Latino world, and they're much more weaved together than what we know. We do the most important festival outside of Spain every summer. It's our Festival Flamenco. Hijastros has grown into one of the most acclaimed flamenco companies in the world when it comes to repertory of flamenco. This is the hotbed of flamenco every June, and my company will be performing this year in that festival again. So it's this sort of ecosystem we've created, and I hope what it does is inspire young artists, but it also lets some of these artists from other countries come to Albuquerque and plug in. Art and dance, especially specifically now, has an incredible impact on anybody's life. I think there's all these incredible things that dance does, right, for the soul and the body of the person. We're trying to keep these young people inspired about, first of all, what it does for them individually, but then how they can give back to the community by teaching others to dance and by teaching others to perform. Our community needs this type of expression, and it's a healing thing that happens in people, right? I mean, expressing yourself that way on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, heals the soul sometimes for things that either we've gone through personally or we're going through communally. My family has been involved in this for a long time, so it's an award for me, obviously, but it's an award for my family, and that's an extended family to the members of this company. Hijastros means stepchild, and I wouldn't call these wonderful dancers my stepchildren, but I feel we're all stepchildren in this sort of desire to be accepted and to be understood, and the Creative Bravo Awards gives us that sort of good feeling inside that the work we've been doing up to now is that important, so thank you for that.
All right. Where is Joaquin? Joaquin Insignias, come on up here. I know you're comfortable on the stage. All right. Let's start at this. Let's see if we can keep that energy going. Okay. Our next award is for Cardboard Playhouse and the Box. Well, Cardboard Playhouse and Doug Montoya and Kristen Berg and the Box Space. There's almost not enough room for everything they do, but Cardboard Playhouse, led by Doug Montoya and Kristen Berg. So creativity often begins with offering a stage for professional expression, opportunities for collaborative work, and a venue to connect with others and with audiences. That is exactly what Cardboard Playhouse Theater Company has done for young people since 2004. Led by founders Doug Montoya and Kristen Berg, Cardboard Playhouse Company has become a leader in youth-centered theater that removes financial barriers and invites young performers to explore their creativity. Their home venue, the Box Performance Space, is also New Mexico's only dedicated improv theater and dynamic hub for original works, education, and community performances. Doug and Kristen have poured so much of themselves, their energy, their time, and their own passion for live theater into Albuquerque's performing arts community, especially kids. They have opened their doors, literally, they open the doors to the theater almost every day to other theater companies and performers, in addition to all of the work that they invest in youth programs through Cardboard Playhouse Theater. So let's see a little bit more about them.
Cardboard Playhouse has been around for 20 years now. We originally started just like producing youth theater at an improv theater in town. So we had a lot of friends within that improv theater. And then when that old location closed, we opened the Box Performance Space to really produce our youth theater program. And then all those improvisers from that old space were like, hey, can we come play too? We're like, of course. So they would do improv after we did our kids show. So they'd be performing on our sets for whatever musical we had just been working on, which was always hilarious and weird.
We did one show, and one show led to another show. Then that led to another show. And so after probably like 5 years, each entity exponentially grew. We operate as a community theater focused on youth. So there's no tuition, there's no registration, there's no cost to be a part of our program. Come out, you audition, and cross our fingers, and hopefully you'll get into the show.
Cardboard Playhouse has moved out of the Box's space to perform at lots of the other theaters in town, but we're currently looking for a permanent location for Cardboard Playhouse. It does take designers and performers, and we all have to collaborate together to make our piece of art. It's not just like a painter working by themselves on their art piece. We have to all work together.
Our mission is to create a safe environment for kids of all ages to feel comfortable expressing themselves, making big choices, feeling confidence. That translates often to kids going out and doing stuff out on Broadway, regional theater, film, television. But the thing that chokes me up the most is a lot of that goes into them becoming an incredible teacher, going into the medical field, becoming lawyers, becoming entrepreneurs. The confidence that they build being a part of our program, I think it transcends art.
Right now, we're really lucky to be working with Larry Joseph Aguilar as our choreographer for Bugsy Malone Jr. And to see him at 70 years old working with our, 10-year-old kids and teaching them choreography is really like a beautiful moment of collaboration, because that stuff's going to live with those kids and they're going to carry on Larry's name and his legacy for a long time now. And that's such a cool thing to be a part of.
You only get one chance to make a first impression. So I took that concept with theater and said, hey, look, we're going to sell something that audiences are going to want. And so that was our key. We're like, it has to be something that people are happy paying a ticket to see.
We did 3 fundraisers with Bob Odenkirk and Ray and Patrick. 2 of them were at the chemo, and then the last one that we did, because the chemo was booked up, was we ended up over at the National Hispanic Cultural Center. And we sold that show out in about 8 hours, and they seat 700. So that was very exciting. Because of Bob's input, and also because of the support from the New Mexico film and television community, we were able to raise enough funds at that last one to purchase the Box Performance Space. So Cardboard Playhouse owns the Box Performance Space, so it can continue to be a part of our community for many years to come.
We can sit back and recognize that we have so much support amongst our board, our volunteers, parents for the children. and all the youth that we work with. They are incredibly supportive and professional. We are so fortunate to be a part of this community.
It feels really affirming of the work that we're doing to receive a Creative Bravos Award. To finally be nominated and to be accepted as like getting the award, it really does mean a lot to us. We've been working really hard, and to have the city and our community appreciate the work that we're doing, it really does mean a lot.
All right, Doug and Kristen. Take your stage. All right. So I think some of the Cardboard Playhouse team is going to sneak out, and it's not because they don't love you all, but they have a performance this afternoon. So they managed to squeeze in accepting this award before they go and help kids with the next performance. So I love that there's so much creativity happening right now while we are in this room. Okay. On to not performance. So we're gonna mix it up a little bit. Yeah, there will be no performance. We're gonna talk about Bookworks. Okay, don't raise your hand. Just make noise if you've ever bought a book at Bookworks. Yeah, I feel like I've seen you guys there. So few places capture the heart of a literary community quite like an independent bookstore, and especially this bookstore. Bookworks has hosted thousands of author events, nurturing generations of readers while supporting local and national voices alike here in Albuquerque. There was a time not too long ago that the future of Bookworks was a bit uncertain, shall we say. Thankfully, local community members stepped up and worked together to create a path forward for Bookworks. Thank you to the new co-owners, the community that helped reinvigorate the store, and the patrons who are as dedicated to Bookworks as the owners are. Today, Bookworks continues to thrive in its fourth decade, is that right? Fourth decade as a vibrant hub for literacy, civic engagement, and cultural connection in our community.
Bookworks has been a literary meeting place since it started in 1984. One of our first goals with the store was to reinvigorate events and kind of bring our community back together in a way that they hadn't been able to gather in a long time. The first event that we actually started with was a poetry event featuring Albuquerque and New Mexico poets laureate. We do a ton of different events, though, not just poetry. We feature authors from around our city, around our state, and around the country, both here in store and then also off-site as well at various venues.
We bought the store with the help of 13 other people in the community who also felt that it was important that the store stay open and thrive and continue to be here. That's why I'm here. 80% of the authors that read with our store, either in the store or in off-site events, are local. So that's a huge venue for a lot of people. It takes a long time to write a book, and being able to have community appreciate it and hear your words is really significant.
I'm addicted to my glasses, I said. I never take them off.
Bookworks was my childhood bookstore. So I grew up in the North Valley, and I came here when I was small to buy books and attend author events. I have a vivid memory of sitting on the floor up in the front of the store watching the author Brian Jakes, who wrote the Redwall series. So it has been a part of my personal history in Albuquerque, and along with being a part of the personal history of many, many readers in Albuquerque.
So every month, we gather money and donate it to a different nonprofit. We feature that nonprofit in our social media and in our email, and make sure that people know about the work that's being done. In these times, it's more and more important to celebrate our local community and to, frankly, meet with and be able to network with people. And Bookworks is a place where that can happen.
It's hard to find places where we can connect with other people in real life in a meaningful way. One of my favorite things that I see happen in the bookstore is when I see customers talking to each other about the books that they're reading. And so seeing people kind of connect and engage in a way that they wouldn't otherwise have the opportunity to is really, really special.
We work with Albuquerque school system. We work with Albuquerque Public School Libraries. We, of course, work with the Albuquerque Public Library Foundation also. So those are all really important community institutions that we collaborate with. We collaborate with them on creating events. We work with the Leopold Writing Program in order to collaborate on events and bring authors in for a series called Writing the Wild. There are so many ways and so many community members that we partner with. It's really valuable, I think.
Books are a way for us to experience whole different worlds and whole different perspectives, ways for us to travel through, space and time. And so being a part of helping people find kind of the books that speak to them, the books that mean the most to them, is an incredibly powerful thing to do. It's really kind of a privilege to be able to serve that role in people's lives.
I've been so excited about the community support that we've had and the fact that the bookstore has been thriving. The Creative Bravo Award to me was just frosting on the cake. I couldn't believe that we were given it. It's been really exciting. And just achieving that recognition for the store, and particularly for this store's mission, is just so meaningful.
I was honestly really stunned when I got the call that Bookworks was receiving a Creative Bravos Award. It was such an incredible and pleasant surprise to be recognized for this work. I think I can speak for not just myself, but my co-owner and our entire ownership team when I say that it's just so meaningful to get this recognition for the work that we've been doing.
We're going to have a little musical interlude. All right. We're so happy to have a small version of the Albuquerque concert band. They definitely would not all fit on the stage. So we're very, very happy to have This quintet, I haven't said that word in a long time. Quintet, it doesn't flow off the lips. Quintet, there we go. So happy to have the quintet with us today. So please welcome to the stage the Albuquerque Concert Band. I saw a lot of toe tapping. I feel like a couple people really wanted to get up and march. I'm mostly talking about my husband. I know he was feeling it. Thank you so much. All right, well, let's just keep talking about the Albuquerque Concert Band since they got us in the mood. Founded in, nope. Hold on. Here we go. For nearly 6 decades, the Albuquerque Concert Band has filled parks, plazas, and concert halls with the sound of music. This all-volunteer ensemble presents 13 to 15 free concerts each year, making high-quality concert band music accessible to audiences across New Mexico and especially in Albuquerque. They also foster a community of talented musicians, most of whom have day jobs, to practice together almost every Monday night throughout the year in addition to their performance schedule. The longevity and vitality of the Albuquerque Concert Band is a beautiful testament to the power of music making together, in community, and also as an offering for community.
Albuquerque Concert Band has been performing in Albuquerque for 60 years. I've been in the band for 40 years. I've played probably over 500 concerts during that time. So during all this time, we've been providing opportunities for people of all ages to enjoy concert music in a variety of venues. And it's a way to appreciate a lot of the historical music that is part of our country, whether it's classical music, whether it's jazz, patriotic music, Christmas and holiday music at that time of the year. Music is best enjoyed as a community experience.
It is really a privilege to represent and to work with the Albuquerque Concert Band. You know, this is a group of people who are Albuquerqueans. In other words, they're not just musicians. They work in everywhere from music educators to maybe Sandia Laboratories to other businesses throughout Albuquerque. So they're great representatives for this city.
I'm Sarah Stamer. I am a percussionist in the Albuquerque Concert Band, and I've been a part of the band for about 1.5 years. Now I'm actually a PhD student in astrophysics over at UNM, and so I don't really have time to put a band class in my schedule, and so I found the Albuquerque Concert Band and joined immediately. It's just a lot of fun to be a part of it, and I'm grateful that, you know, they said yes to me when I said I'm interested. It's given me a community. I kind of moved to Albuquerque not really knowing a ton of people, but you can always find people through music. You can always find people through bands, and that's what happened to me. And now I have a bunch of wonderful band people in my life who are amazing friends.
It's a very multi-generational group that's on purpose. We do go to the high schools, go to UNM, and encourage people to join the band when they've graduated. In addition, the band offers an annual scholarship to a graduating high school senior to encourage that young man or woman to continue to play music in college and then hopefully in their adulthood.
These members, they meet weekly. On their own time, in the evening after they have completed a long day's work, and they come together to play music, to share the power of music, and then many performances throughout the city, maybe at the Balloon Fiesta Park or at the memorial over by the Kirtland Air Force Base. They share music because that's where we can come together, where we can, as a community, not just as musicians, but as members of a city that we all believe in, music can bring us together.
We also provide opportunities for local and nationally recognized performers and conductors to be featured with our band. So in all these ways, we promote band music as a lifelong avocation, and we promote excellence in music as well. It gives me a great amount of joy, it gives me a great amount of satisfaction. It's uplifting, it really is. When I received the phone call about this award, I was very surprised and very elated. I was not expecting anything like this, and it was a terrific surprise.
To work with the Albuquerque Concert Band is an absolute privilege. I couldn't be more proud of the Albuquerque Concert Band in getting just a little recognition for the work that they do. They have an amazing work ethic, weekly in rehearsals, in performances, always there, always present.
It's a great recognition of the work we've been doing and the work we can keep doing, and I think it's really just motivating to all of us to keep pushing and to keep striving and enjoying music as we have been for so many years.
fun. Yay. I think that's like 20% of the group. I don't know. Is that like, is that even close to 20%? 10% of the group, 10%. Yes. So you're gonna, I think there's an award. They're gonna like, everybody gets to have it for a day during the year. Let's just pass it around, right? I don't know. Steve is in possession of it right now. So hopefully you guys can work that out. All right. So our next award is in honor of the Indian Pueblo Cultural Center. Yeah. It was founded in 1976. It is the official cultural center of the 19 pueblos of New Mexico and a vital force in preserving and sharing indigenous tradition. Today, the Indian Pueblo Cultural Center continues to serve as a nationally recognized museum and gathering place that fosters cultural understanding, pride, and continuity. It has also become a hub for entrepreneurship and a powerful force for local redevelopment and economic growth. Also, a great place to eat, shop, learn, and connect. I will admit that once we realized how long the Indian Pueblo Cultural Center has been around, the committee agreed that this was a bit overdue, this award, given the place that the Cultural Center holds in our community and the multifaceted growth of the Cultural Center, especially over the last 10 to 20 years. But we are so honored to recognize the Indian Pueblo Cultural Center today. And if you haven't been there, let's learn a little bit more.
The Indian Pueblo Cultural Center is located right in the heart of Albuquerque on the former lands of the Albuquerque Indian School, which existed in Albuquerque from 1881 to 1981. And coming together as 19 pueblos, they've created a space that is absolutely amazing. It's an uplifting of Pueblo arts, a celebration of our culture, and you can see it all throughout our campus. From the murals in our courtyard to the artists that are showcasing their wares on a daily basis to the sculptures throughout the campus. The Indian Pueblo Cultural Center is filled with art. And just to see everybody coming together to celebrate that is amazing.
At the Indian Pueblo Cultural Center, I focus on our day-to-day programming with educational initiatives. We give guided tours that focus in our museum and our rotating exhibitions, mural tours, we have a library and archives. So there's a lot of many new experiences you can have here at the Cultural Center that are really profound in preserving our art and history.
In our 50-year history, we are excited to be a place that brings culture together, a place for community, where we celebrate who we are as Pueblo people, where we're able to showcase our living culture and bring people together around the arts.
I do this work because I believe in the power of art to tell stories, connecting communities, and supporting all of our Pueblo people. It is extremely important that we stay connected with our communities and we share what our communities do through art, through history, through culture. And I find it extremely impactful to continue to educate Albuquerque, the broader region, and the whole world about who we are as Pueblo people and the resiliency we share.
We had an exhibit honoring the life of Bob Chavez. Bob Chavez was a survivor of the Baton Death March, and he was an art teacher at the St. Catherine's Indian School up in Santa Fe. And out of that came the Bob Chavez Scholarship for the Arts. And so what we've done is we've taken Bob's story, his commitment to the arts, and taken that one step further in developing a scholarship program for people interested in the arts so they can also go to school, get educated, and really find that creative expression in a way that's meaningful for them.
Being recognized with a Creative Bravos Award is extremely meaningful, not only for me and our IPCC staff, but more so the artists that we get to share and their stories that we uplift. This acknowledgement validates the importance of preserving, sharing, and showing the authenticity of Pueblo culture at the heart of what we do.
It's absolutely amazing to receive a Creative Bravos Award in our 50th anniversary. We couldn't have been more thrilled to get the news, and it's just a wonderful recognition of all the work that's happening here on our campus, from our volunteers, our curatorial team, to the staff that makes this happen every single day. I couldn't be more proud and more thankful that we're getting the recognition, and I'm just one person of many, and there's a lot of people out there that are making this happen. So just want to send a huge shout out to them and a huge thank you for all the work that they do to make this award possible.
Right. All right. Every year I like to just do one thing out of order. It keeps the team really excited and on their toes. But I think this year I'm going to stick with the plan. I was real close right there, but they're used to me, but it's okay. Our next award goes to an educator, which is where I started my career. So I'm always very happy when educators are recognized for their hard work. So Rosalinda Rojas, yes, is already, you can see, a beloved dance educator, an accomplished choreographer, and a performing arts faculty member who has inspired generations of students through her work at the Albuquerque Academy and throughout the community. She is known for her dedication to mentorship and artistic excellence, shaping countless young dancers and performers through both instruction and choreography. The nomination for this award came from one of Rosalinda's students, and there's no higher praise for an educator than the deep admiration of students talking about the impact on their lives. What was beautiful about this letter is the student did not find the form. It's not like they got the call. We just got a letter through, I think, to one of our staff people, which was a beautiful letter about Rosalinda and her impact. And so that student took it upon themselves to make that nomination. And so this one is a particularly special one because of the way the nomination came to us. So let's learn some more about Rosalinda.
Arms and down, and 1, 2, 3.
Before the spoken language, there was movement.
All the way down, stay, head down, chin to your sternum, stay.
Connecting with both your body and action, and in stillness, and finding out when to move and when to be quiet and when to shift. It's a human initiative. And I think across the arts, it's really vital to stay connected with your body, your voice, your inner voice, and your intuition. And I think that's the beauty and the importance of having movement in all kinds of activities, whether in the arts or outside the arts. I'm a native of New York City, and I've been living in Albuquerque and growing my art and collaborating since 1989. I'm celebrating my 25th year as a dance educator and innovative curriculum architect of dance and the multidiscipline collaborations across the performing arts. Crosses disciplines from dance, movement arts, circus arts, aerial dance. I'm a collaborator across different organizations here in Albuquerque, from the ballet companies to Upper Southwest. I have designed innovative curriculum for the current school where I'm celebrating 25 years, Albuquerque Academy. And I choreographed a piece based on a neoclassical ballet, which is my background from Dance Theater of Harlem. I was one of the original founding members in 1969. So as an Afro-Latina, this piece is rooted in that beat to, you can't lose with James Brown.
James Brown in the house. Woo! I love this.
This is my strength, collaborating, even with students. So you're going to see them engage with me and giving me feedback on the spot. That's what my spaces are, my teaching spaces and my learning spaces, a two-way conversation and collaboration. The arts, especially dance and movement, has given me a voice. Being invisible in the South Bronx and coming from a Latina neighborhood and heritage, I didn't have the space to articulate in words or in writing. I didn't have that access. So it was through the movement and dance that I was able to create my story. And so my mentorship is really rooted in that ability to give movement skills, dance skills, highly technical skills for the person that is embracing the arts as a way to storytell or to tell their story. I was really honored to inspire many former circus students and aerial dance students to go on and explore initiatives, their own initiatives as program directors, circus performers, and also choreographers of the air. And that is one reason why I founded Albuquerque School for Circus Arts. You don't have to run away from home to join the circus. That speaks to my work and my inspiration to these young people coming up, the next generation in circus and aerial dance. When I first got the call, I was like in a very deep valley. And all of a sudden I pick up the phone and I was alerted that I was going to be given or was acknowledged with this award. And I was like, oh my God, if they only knew. And to be recognized for the work, both visible and invisible, that I have done and contributed to, it's beyond honor. It just kind of seals a chapter for me that I can hold. I feel held, which I need during these days. So that sense of not just recognition, but being held and being validated in some way, but also being embraced. That's how I feel.
Oh, good. I thought I was the only one crying, and I look at the front row. My people are in the front row because they're all, that was really beautiful, Rosalinda, and it does, oh, good. People in the back, too. All right, everyone's crying. It does remind me when I started this term under Mayor Keller, or the term before that, I don't know. In 2018, we came back, and the Creative Bravos had been kind of, we'll say, dormant for a number of years. And we didn't have a way in our community that we stopped and recognized and celebrated and lifted up our creatives. We had done it for many years. The Albuquerque Arts Alliance decades ago started this, and then the Creative Albuquerque carried on the tradition. But there were several years where no one was holding this tradition. And when we started, and I talked to the mayor and the first lady, who was very enthusiastic from the beginning about bringing this back and the city owning and lifting it up. It was exactly for that, because we have people, this room is filled with people, but Rosalinda put it so beautifully, like when we're doing this really hard, beautiful work, and especially when we're doing it for decades, it really matters that our community, that we show up for each other. And we recognize and we take the moment to lift people up and really remind them that we see them and we see what they're doing for our community, for our young people, and how their work does really, really matter. So thank you for making me cry. And also, clearly, you had no idea how many people were crying out there. So, deep breath. Let's, All right. Our next award. On to AMP Concerts and Neil Copperman. Yeah. So founded in 2004, AMP has become New Mexico's leading nonprofit live music presenter, hosting thousands of performances featuring both world-renowned and local artists. Led by Neil Copperman. I actually think Neil Copperman and AMP are kind of like, they're like synonyms, so, but you know, whatever. We all know when we say Neil, we know we're talking about AMP. If you say AMP, we know we're talking about Neil. Led by Neil Copperman, AMP's innovative and inclusive programming expands access to live music through concerts across the state, including many free events for the public. AMP has a unique ability to bring people together to enjoy live music. And few organizations have done more to create magic moments between musicians and audiences in so many different venues across so many different musical genres than AMP. Neil started his musical presenter nonprofit journey organizing house concerts. And somehow that thread of intimacy, immediacy, and personal connection remains intact all these years later and runs throughout AMP's calendar and performances.
I started because I was passionate about seeing live music. It was what I loved to do. And when I moved to Albuquerque, some of what I liked wasn't here. There were opportunities, especially on a very small scale, to create those things. I came to realize that half of the value wasn't just for me to see shows, it brought people together. We've been doing concerts in one form or another since 2000, when I first moved to Albuquerque and started doing a house concert series. So it started as a hobby, but through the nature of the town, I started volunteering with people and I got involved in places and I learned how things work. And we were able to eventually start a concert series, form a nonprofit, and just keep expanding what we did from these very modest beginnings to venues like the Fusion Art Space and the Chemo Theater, the National Hispanic Cultural Center, and around the state. We bring a lot of international bands to town for many years with our work with Albuquerque, but we've continued to do that, and we have international artist residencies. That is a beautiful way to let people travel beyond Albuquerque, even if they're not able to. It opens up the world. We've had many Ukrainian bands hearing what they're experiencing and seeing what their culture is like and getting to understand it better. That's really powerful. Music always expresses all kinds of different emotions and feelings, so it helps people share what they feel and get the feelings from others, but it's also such a community experience. Providing these opportunities for the community, for other people to enjoy, became more of a driving force than seeing a show, especially as the scale goes up, because I don't really get to sit and watch a show anyway. So it's more about the overall experience that we create. We have a very small team. I was kind of amazed. I was comparing myself to a friend's organization in Boston, and they did 66 events last year with 13 full-time staff people. We did 166 events last year with 2.5 staff people, So we have a large number of volunteers, great partners and collaborators, so we're able to leverage off of a lot of different resources. One of our biggest new initiatives is the free concert series at Winrock Park, and we did 8 events on Friday nights at Winrock Park last year, and it immediately was just a boom. 1,000 people were coming out every week. The park is beautiful. It's a great community gathering space. I think it really serves a need in the community. So we are coming back May 31st. We're starting our series again. We'll be back at Winrock Park on Fridays. We're really eager to see how that project grows and develops. We're recognized informally all the time for the work that we do. It's very public. People see it a lot. And I get tons of direct feedback from people all the time about how it impacts them. much less often do you get like official recognition that you've done something of note that the city or community wants to recognize. So it's nice to get that and be seen that way. I do a thing with my staff at the end of the year. I was like, what were your favorite accomplishments and what were your favorite shows? Because when we look backwards, it's all of a sudden it's like, holy cow, look at what we did. Like we did 55 free events and 12,000 people saw free events. Over 22,000 people have come to the libraries and seen music since we've been doing free events at the libraries. That's a huge level of impact.
Ooh. All right. Oh my gosh, my notes say that we only have one more award to give. Is this true? Is this true? All right. It better be a good one. Here we go. All right. So this award is our Legacy Bravos Award. Every year this year we could have given like a lot of Legacy Bravos Award. It kind of ended up being the theme, but really the Legacy Bravos is going to an organization or an individual that has the kind of magical combination of a lot of things: musical excellence, community impact, sustained collaboration, mentorship, education, kind of doing all the things. A lot of our awardees today do all of those things. So it was hard to choose this year, but this year's Legacy Bravos Award goes to Fusion Theater. Fusion Theater under the leadership of Dennis Gromelsky. Fusion Theater has become nationally recognized force for bold, socially engaged theater right here in Albuquerque. Since its founding 25 years ago, Fusion has premiered more than 100 original works while championing inclusive arts leadership and creating space for stories that reflect the full diversity of our community. Fusion has a deep commitment to equity and representation and continues to demonstrate and expand how theater can amplify voices, inspire dialogue, and strengthen the fabric of our city. Fusion would be an amazing and deserving of a Creative Bravos if it was simply celebrating its 25 years of world-class theater. But Fusion has truly lived up to its name, Fusion, as Fusion continues to say yes, although I think that's usually Dennis, saying yes to bringing many, many other things together. They say yes to community, to possibility, to other people's ideas, to other people's events, always theater, but also to music, to visual art, to youth education, to collaborations across organizations, to fiscal sponsorship, to building a dynamic venue in downtown Albuquerque, and the list goes on and on. So let's learn a little bit more about Fusion.
It's an incredible honor to be recognized in a community that you love for doing something that you love, and the fact that it's been making an impact, not just like a flash in the pan, but it's been making an impact over the course of now a quarter century. When Fusion began, we were younger artists who had a great desire to provide economic opportunities for union members specifically. Fusion is a professional theater company. We're an Actors Equity Association company and have been since we opened our doors in 2001. From the very beginning, we created that opportunity for these folks to be able to work in what it is that they're certified to work. The name came about in a very specific way. Fusion is a combining of energies. The cleanest energy, all the scientists are after that cold fusion now. What is fusion? And the joining together, the breaking down of silos, the idea that we can do this through collaboration and do it together. We host fine art, film, poetry, dance, theater, all kinds of events. All kinds of nonprofits use us as a community resource because that's really what we've become. What Fusion is doing is community development through the arts. And it really is. It's incredibly important that you understand that I am here representing literally thousands of artists, 10,000, hundreds of thousands of patrons over the past 25 years. And our co-founders, Jacqueline Reed and Lori Thomas, I'm representing them, sitting here having the benefit of being able to do that, to be leaving a positive legacy. What we're really interested about is making sure that the arts have a seat at every table, every economic development project, every local developer that builds something. The arts need to be involved in that. I come to work every day as an adventure because this isn't a job. This is an adventure that I've chosen to undertake that I'm very excited about, primarily because the need is there. We fiscally sponsor 8 organizations now, and several of these are going towards youth and kids and encouraging them to take part in the arts. We have 14 students working with us this semester alone. These students are really effective. They want to learn, they want to be involved, and it's interesting to see that what we're offering them is something that they're welcoming and would like to be involved with. What we have done is continue to embrace our community in a fashion that is well beyond what we had originally thought that we'd be doing. Musicians will all of a sudden see the fine art, and they'll come to an opening. Artists will come to a theater event, and that we're starting to see great crossover. So this campus has really become a hub for that type of activity. It's incredible, the programming that goes on here. It's almost too much, but it's not, because everybody feels cared for. Everyone that comes in here knows that they're going to have technical support, box office support, marketing support, et cetera, which allows them to focus on their art. Legacy is a word that we have been bouncing around quite a bit lately because it's come to that time where how are our next generation of artists and artistic leaders, how are they going to fit into this wonderful ecology that we've developed to take things to the next level? To be recognized in a community for your passion and work, because it's kind of the same thing, it's an adventure, and a community that you love by the people that you love is, you know, it's priceless.
Oh. Whew. And there were many tears. The good tears, the good tears. Just as we close first, I want to thank, there's so many people here from the Department of Arts and Culture. I really want to acknowledge, we've got Deputy Director Elsa Menendez, Deputy Director Diego Lucero up here in the front row. They've been helping with this every year for many years with the Creative Bravos. We have our media team in the back. You saw how amazing their work is. Creating these videos are also gifts to all of these people. We hand them back to them. They can use them on their websites. It's a great way to tell their stories moving forward. So we're always happy that we have such a talented team creating that for them. We've also, I think is Andrew Connors in here still? Andrew Connors, he's the director of the Albuquerque Museum. Your host for today. Thank you, Andrew, for letting us have this party in your house. And we've got the Director of Public Art, Michael Ogilvie. Trying to sneak out as fast as possible is our fiscal manager, Denise Ortiz. She's hiding. Here's a secret. She also plays in the Albuquerque concert band, so yay. And then a special thank you to Tanya Lenti, our marketing and communications manager. She has wrangled all these pieces, so if you're an awardee, you know her. You have been hearing from her a lot over the last few months. Oh, and then I see Lydia, our social media manager, is over here too, so thanks. So once again, thank you all for joining and celebrating these remarkable honorees. I encourage you to, if you don't know any of them, or you might probably know one of them because you're here, but if there are people you want to meet, come and reach out. These artists, educators, nonprofit leaders, and visionaries remind us every single day that creativity is one of Albuquerque's greatest strengths. Their contributions continue to inspire us, connect us, and ensure that the arts keep beating strong in our hearts and in our community. So support them, support what they're doing, buy a ticket, buy a book, go to a performance, take a class. In other words, take part in the art. And thank you so much for being here. There's still some water, tea, coffee. I think there's like 5 cupcakes left, so I expect you guys to clean that up. Thank you so much. Yay! Bravo! Okay.
Thank you.